All right, guys, happy Friday. We've made it through another week of virtual school. I hope you're feeling great on this Friday. I wanted to start this lesson off by working through an example from yesterday just to make sure that you're understanding what we are doing. So we are given this inequality statement using words, okay, just like a regular sentence. This is called a mathematical sentence. And we are wanting to express this same statement in using numbers. Okay, so first we're going to read the actual statement. It says 4 plus 2/3 of a number, no less than 5 times a number added to 3. So when we were doing this with equations, we had to identify where the equal sign was. We're going to do the same thing. We need to identify where our inequality symbol is so that way we can identify the left side and the right side. So first things first, I do want to point out that vocabulary, guys, is going to be super duper important with this writing inequalities. Okay, we need to understand the vocabulary, because if we don't, then we take the risk of writing the incorrect symbol and then getting our answer wrong. Okay, so first things first, let's look at this statement here. So I want to find the inequality symbol that separates the left and the right side. So here it says no less than. All right, no less than. That's my inequality symbol. And then I just have to identify which symbol is associated with this vocabulary. And if I look to my side, the side here with the poster, it's no less than is with greater than or equal to. So I know my symbol is going to be greater than or equal to. Greater than, equal to. Now I can focus on the left side first. So this one says 4 plus. So I have 4 and I have plus, again, 2/3 of a number. Now let's identify our variable, a number. Do we know what number they're talking about? No, it just says a number. That's our variable. The 2/3 part is our coefficient. Okay, and this reads as a fraction, 2/3. 2 is the numerator. The thirds is our denominator, and that's representing 3. And then we add our variable, a number. Now we're going to move to the right side. The right side reads 5 times a number added to 3. Now, if something is being added to 3, that means 3 has to be first. So we have 3, and added tells us we're going to use addition. 5 times a number. 5, which is our coefficient. Again, and times a number. Again, we don't know that number, so that's our variable x. Okay, so this is what we did yesterday, and hopefully that kind of cleared up any questions you might have had with writing a mathematical statement starting with words into numbers with our inequality statement. So let's take it a step further with our topic today. Just like equations, we're going to move from writing mathematical statements to writing an inequality from the real world problems. So again, the expectation is the students will write one variable inequalities with variables on both sides to represent mathematical or real world problems. Again, today we're focusing on the real world problems. Yesterday we focused on the mathematical. Then it says, again, the students will know the different parts of the inequality, will understand that we are comparing two expressions using the inequality symbols, and will be able to write an inequality statement to match a real world problem. So again, that's what we're focused on today. All right, so let's look. Again, this is just a reminder of the vocabulary. Again, super duper important. So if I were you, I would take a minute, I would pause this video, and I would write this table down if you have a notebook, or just write it down so you can have it. and use it, and it's going to be useful, trust me. Okay, now let's look at our first example. Roger and Ted have a hot dog eating contest. After the first 2 minutes, Roger has consumed 8 hot dogs and Ted has consumed only 7 hot dogs. From that point, Roger eats 3 hot dogs each minute, while Ted eats 4 hot dogs per minute. After how many minutes, will Ted have eaten more hot dogs than Roger? Okay, now it's very important to read the problem all the way through first before we start writing our inequalities statement, because we do want to identify our variable. And again, if we notice in the question it says how many minutes. So minutes is going to be our variable, the number of minutes. Okay, that's what the question is looking for. So that's our variable. That's going to be representing, we'll use that representing an m. Okay. The question also asks, after how many minutes will Ted have eaten more hot dogs than Roger? That more than. And if we look at our picture over here, let me make it a little bigger. More than is associated with, if we look, it is associated with greater than. Okay, so when we write our statement, we know that we're going to be using the word greater than. Now, the question here is talking about 2 people, Roger and Ted. That's my left side and my right side. I'm going to put Roger on the right side here because his name is mentioned first. I'm going to put Ted on this side. Okay, now I'm going to read back through my problem, and I'm going to go one sentence at a time. All right, so it says, Roger and Ted have a hot dog eating contest. Okay, again, that sentence doesn't give me any information or any mathematical information. After the first 2 minutes, Roger, okay, so now I know I'm talking about Roger, has consumed 8 hot dogs. Okay, so we know on Roger's side, he's consumed 8 hot dogs. And then it says, and Ted, okay, now we're on Ted, the right-hand side, has consumed 7 hot dogs. Okay, consumed, guys, if you're unsure of what that means just eaten. He's taken in 8 hot dogs or he's eaten 8 hot dogs. Okay, the next sentence reads, from that point, Roger, so again, we're talking about Roger, eats 3 hot dogs each minute. Okay, well, if he's still eating, we know that we're adding to his total hot dogs that he's eating. 3 is the coefficient each minute. That's where our variable comes into play. It doesn't say how long or the number of minutes. It just says each minute. And we said we're going to represent that with an M. Okay. All right. So we have Roger's side. Then it says, if we keep reading, it says, while Ted... Okay, Ted eats 4, and again, he's still eating, so we're still adding to his total hot dogs, 4 hot dogs per minute. Again, we don't know the number of minutes, we just know it's representing minutes. And again, now the question reads, after how many minutes will Ted have eaten more hot dogs than Roger? So it's saying that Ted has eaten more. So when we're writing our inequality sentence, we said it's going to be the greater than symbol, but since Ted has eaten more hot dogs, the inequality, the mouth again has to open to Ted because it's saying his is larger or greater than. So when I bring this down, 8 plus 3m, and then I'm going to bring Ted's side down, and it says Ted... How many more hot dogs has Ted eaten after how many minutes will Ted have eaten more hot dogs than Roger? So Ted has eaten more. So this has to be open towards Ted. Again, the mouth opens to the greater side. So here's our inequality statement. It says 8 plus 3m is less than 7 plus 4m. Now again, you might be thinking, well, if I'm reading this from left to right, why am I using the less than symbol? Okay, it's because the way we wrote it, we put Roger first. Okay, So Roger has to be smaller than Ted. You can also, if you want, we could have, let me erase this little arrow. If we wanted to put Ted first, like the question said, we could have wrote Ted's side first. 7 plus 4m. And now we can use the correct symbol, more than, which is greater than Roger. Okay, so this is our true statement here if we write Ted first. Okay, all right, guys, so that's example number 1. Let's look at a different example. Example number 2. Cammie and George each begin saving money for a new computer company. Cammie saves $5 per week plus $50 she receives for her birthday. Jorge saves $7 per week. Which of the following can be used to find, or again, so this was a multiple choice question that I changed to help us write these. So we want to find W, the number of weeks until Jorge has saved at least the same amount as Cammie. All right, so let's focus on, first we have 2 people on our problem. We have Cammie and we have George. Okay, it says we're going to write Cammie on this side, Jorge on this side. Okay, it also, the question part says find W, the number of weeks. Again, now we don't know the number of weeks, so that's our variable. Number of weeks. We're going to represent that with a W. Until George has at least the same amount as, at least. At least. If we look over here in our vocabulary, at least means greater than or equal to. Until George, so again on here, the question asks us to put George first. George has saved at least the same amount as Cammie. So let's switch these and put George first. And again, that's why it's important to read the question first. Jorge on this side, and we'll put Cammie on this side. At least, we know we're going to put the greater than or equal to. Okay, and now let's focus on the actual statement. Let's read about George. It says George, let me use a different color. George saves $7 per week. Okay, well, we got $7 per week. We said the number of weeks is the variable, so that's W. And that's all it says about George. Now let's read what it says about Cammie. Cammie saves $5 per week. Okay, so she's saving $5 per week plus $50 that she received on her birthday. So plus 50. All right, so then we just bring this down here. 7W is, again, at least greater than or equal to, okay, that's what that means, 5W plus 50. All right. So the question itself, guys, is super important as to how we're going to compare either the 2 companies or the 2 people. It's very important. Again, here we put George on the left side because it was saying that George has saved at least the same amount as Cammie. So they listed George first and Cammie second in the question. So again, that way I didn't have to rewrite it like number 1. All right, one more example. Rug Emporium installs carpet for $80 plus $9.50 per square yard of carpet. Carpets for You charges $120 for installation and $7.50 per square yard of carpet. Okay, so it says write an inequality to find the number of square yards of carpet for which Rugs Emporium charges more than Carpet for You. Okay, so it says first, write an inequality. All right, we got that. To find the number of square yards. Now again, that's the variable because we don't know. That's what the problem is asking us to find. So number of square yards is our variable. Number of square yards. Okay. All right, and we're going to represent that with, we'll just say S. Okay. And if we keep reading, it says number of carpet for which Rug Emporium charges more than. All right, so Rug Emporium, okay, charges more than. All right, so let's look at our symbols. More than is up here with the greater than. So our greater than symbol, then carpet for you. All right, so we're gonna put Rug Emporium on this. I'm gonna put RE, and then carpet, I'm gonna put carpet for you over here. Okay, so now we gotta go back. We have our inequality symbol, but now we need to get the left and the right side. So now we have to go back into the problem and read the information that it's giving us. It says Rug Emporium installs carpet for $80. All right, so we know that it's charging $80. Then it says plus, okay, well, that's easy to interpret, plus $9.50 per square yard. Do we know how many square yards? No, and again, going back, that's our variable here. $9.50 though is the coefficient. So that represents $9.50 S. Okay, so that's Rug Emporium. Moving to Carpets for You charges $120. All right, so we know they're going to get charged $120, and, which again, same thing as addition, and $7.50 per square yard. Okay, well, we know the coefficient is $7.50. Do we know the number of yards? No. So that's our S. Oops, sorry, I was going to put an X. So that's S, which is our variable. All right, so then we just bring this down into our statement. So 80 plus 950S is more than, again, or greater than 120 plus 750S. All right, guys, that's all the examples I have for this video. If you have any questions about this video, feel free to post it in the discussion, and make sure you are following up with the activities for this. I hope you have a great Friday. Make sure if you're still struggling, please join me, guys, for the lives at 9:30, the office hours at 9:30 and 2 every single day, okay? So they're in that homepage. Just click on the time and it'll take you directly to the Google Meets. Okay, guys, have a great day.